Hey everybody, so we're going to do a fox eye tutorial today. This one's going to be in a little bit more detail, so I hope you like it. First off, I'm starting with my foundation. This one is Born This Way from Too Faced. I really like applying this one with my beauty blender. It creates nice, soft, light layers that I can build with easily. So you'll just see me tapping away with my foundation. Tapping it is going to help build those layers nice and softly. You're not going to have any type of streaking or anything happening when you're tapping, as opposed to rubbing and dragging it across your face with the sponge. So my sponge, by the way, as well, is damp. I rinsed it, I wash it actually every single time before I use it with a little bit of soap and water. You can definitely buy the Beauty Blender brand cleansers. I just opt for dish soap though. So next up I'm going to be using that white Cover FX concealer and the peach color corrector, also from Cover FX. The peach color corrector is going to be great for my under eye circles that are more of a blue-green color. So I'm going to be applying it with a brush and then blending it out with a sponge. And then next up I'm going to be taking a little more foundation and a little bit of that white Cover FX concealer and mixing the two together on the back of my hand. Now this is going to create just a little bit of a lighter color for covering up that color corrector and brightening the under eye area. And then I'm going to be mixing in a little bit more white concealer to create a proper highlighting shade for my cheekbones and my nose bridge and my chin. And then right after that, we're going to be powdering down the skin just with a little bit of translucent powder. I'm sorry, I actually don't remember which one I used for this, but I will figure it out next time. So I'm powdering all over the face, and then I'm going to be going in with my Becca bronzer and blush. I really love these bronzers and blushes because they're quite luminous. So I'm dipping that brush in there and then tapping it off to make sure that all of the excess is falling off and not becoming fallout on my face. So I've of course applied the bronzer to my cheekbones, but I'm also going across the bridge of my nose as well as the top of my forehead. I find that that's just the most natural kind of positioning for my bronzer because it mimics the closest way that the sun would actually tan my face. Also, I have a big forehead, so this way I can contour that out a little bit. So next I'm going in with a warm toned blush color. This one's a little bit more of like a corally pink. I really love these blushes from Becca Cosmetics because they're really nice and luminous. They're really sheeny without being shimmery or shiny. They just give a really soft, natural glow. So next step is doing some eyebrows. So you'll be seeing me using my Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade, dip bar pomade in Taupe, and this one is going to be used on a teensy tiny little angle brush just to fill in a couple hairs here and there. So the next step is going to be using another Cover FX concealer. This one I'm actually going to be using as the base for my eyeshadow. So we're going to be going in with the synthetic brush and a little dollop of that concealer and just popping that on the center of the eyelid and blending it out as soft as possible. So you're definitely going to be wanting to use a synthetic brush for this step, or for any liquids or creams that you're using in your makeup application process. It's really vital because that way there won't be bacteria growth. So next up, I'm going to use the Natural Lust palette from Too Faced. It's one of my most used palettes this year, and some Chocolate Dip Brow from Anastasia. So a little bit of a warm brown eyeshadow is just going to be popped right onto the lid of this creamy base that we've blended out ever so nicely, and we're just going to do the same with this shadow to give it a nice warm brown look. So once that shadow is blended out to your satisfaction, you're going to use a little bit of the Chocolate Dip Brow, and we're going to start sketching out our eyeliner. So the whole point to a fox eye is to kind of elongate the eye and make it look really, feline, foxy. Foxes aren't felines, but you know what I mean. So to do that, we're going to bring the eyeliner into the inner corner, and we want to have a nice gentle upward flick on the outer corner. But in the center of the liner, we're really not going to be focusing too much. The antithesis of a fox eye is going to be a really rounded wing liner. So that's kind of the opposite of what we're going to try to be doing today. And so we're going to kind of skip over the middle essentially and focus on the inner and outer corners. So the next step is to use a dark brown shadow, and we're going to go over the liner we've created to blend out the edges and make it a little bit more soft and blurry. So once your liner is nice and chocolatey and smoked out, we're going to use a little bit of a black shadow to add a little bit more dimension, and again we're going to be focusing that on the inner and outer corner mostly. Yes, we will get a little bit in the center, but I really want to create the flat liner look as much as humanly possible. My left eye is definitely my favorite right now. And then the last step for this eyeliner is just to take a clean, softer angle brush to blend out some features a little bit. Then we're going to be using the bronzy color in the Sun-Kissed Glow Kit from Anastasia. So this one I just really love, gives a nice bronzy summery glow. And then we're going to be using a little bit of a tiny eyeliner I got from Sephora. This is just the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Not my favorite eyeliner right now, but I got it with Beauty Insider points, so that's what matters. The next step after that, we're going to be using a little bit of a brown pencil eyeliner. This one's from Pure Nada. It's a clean, vegan, just all-around good company. So I'm going to be tight lining, so drawing on the top of the waterline as well as on the bottom of the waterline. You'll see me just blinking and probably stabbing myself in the eye. So I do find that wiggling, as you'll see me doing, and kind of blinking onto the pencil, it seems to work for me. So next up, we're going to take that angle brush that we used to blend our shadows out earlier, and I just kind of wiped it out a little bit. I'm going to use some brown shadow to blend out the bottom of the lower lash line. So we're going to be smoking that out with a little bit of a medium brown, and then we'll go in with a little bit of our darker colors that we used on top. Next step, we're actually going to use our brush that we used for our brows and apply some of that black shadow on the lower lash line, the inner and outer corners, as we were focusing just on top. So the next clip is me struggling to show you how I put on my eyelashes, which is really difficult and also quite embarrassing because I honestly don't do this on myself as much as I do it on other people, and I'm really bad at it. Next up, we're using the Anastasia Glow Kit again, and we're going to be using our caramel lip gloss from Anastasia in just a minute. So just touching up my eyeliner with that Pure Nada pencil, and then we're going to be moving on. So next up, we're going to be using the Anastasia highlighters for their actual intended purpose on the cheeks with a big fluffy synthetic brush. We'll be blending that all over my cheekbones. I love the intensity of the payoff you get from these highlighters. I want you to see me staying at home from the street outside of my apartment. I want you to see my highlighter from 6 feet away. I want you to be safely distanced from me, but also see me blinding you and glowing. So now I'm getting just a little bit of that highlighter under my brows, on my brow bone, and I just love to cover up my little fluffy brow hairs and forget that I haven't done them in 2 years and just cover them in highlighter instead. Then after that, easy peasy, just going back to the mascara for some lower lash mascara. If you're going to be wearing lashes or anything, I just feel like lower lash mascara is a must. So moving on to lips, I'm actually going to be using my Anastasia Taupe Brow Wiz pencil on my lips as a lip liner. I find that it doesn't work for everybody, but sometimes your brow pencil is the perfect secret lip liner. So I'm going to be using this one just to give a little bit of kind of a contouring and give some more shape to my lips. I do like to overline my top lip mostly because I like to create kind of more of a structured line between the bow of my lip and the outer corner of my lip, as you'll see. And then we're going to be going in with a really lovely lip gloss from Anastasia as well. So once you're done lining your lips, I'm going to go in with the caramel lip gloss from Anastasia. Really love this lip gloss. I just love the consistency of them as well as the pigmentation. And this color is just a really lovely pink brown, kind of a little bit of a neutral. So I'm following that line with the brush and just painting and filling in as I go. So after I did my lips, I curled my hair and I used my favorite hairspray, which is Bedroom Hair by Kevin Murphy. So you guys have to let me know if you want a tutorial on this hair look. It would have been a half-hour video if I included it, but I can definitely post it if you want it. So let me know if you liked this, give it a like and a comment, and I'd love to make some more if you want some. Bye!